people. Like I said before the show or before the clip, I said that this was put together by Air America, which is an extreme leftist group, and they're just trying to get us out there. And I mean, it happens to anybody when they get big. I mean, Glenn Beck has grown exponentially over the last 4 years in terms of ratings and influence. So they're just trying to knock him down a peg. I mean,
there was I can't remember. I think it was a Newsweek article that was taken off the website because it had so much traffic and so much comments and rage, and it was, is Glenn Beck the new Oprah for thrillers or something like this? It was something, I don't remember the 4-part, it was for a really weird kind of people, but it was comparing that, and it caused so much kind of online chaos that the magazine ended up taking it off. So it's just, whatever. The guy is crazy sometimes.
Yeah, he is, but
sometimes he makes sense, which is a little frightening, and then other times he's just frightening.
Yeah.
Him and his blackboard. Whenever he steps in front of his blackboard is when I just start to shake my head.
Yeah. Or he does his Al Gore truth machine thing when he gets in the scissors lift.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Although, I will say, I'll give him this. I trust him more than I would trust Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, easy. Hands down. I feel that Glenn is much more genuine in his like, I think that's how Glenn actually is. I mean,
when he's not, I kind of can see it more. Mm-hmm. And Rush seems like a traditional showman who is always full of
he's even said that a lot of stuff he says is made up just for ratings.
Yeah. So even though I don't really particularly agree with either of them, I would still lean towards agreeing with Beck. But we're going to go to a song, and we'll be back after this with the weather.
Welcome back to Informavores. I'll have your weather here for you in just 1 second. It's not working with me here. Anyway, I'm going to guess that it's still cold as heck, and it's still windy.
It is snowing.
All right, let's get a little more scientific here. It is 9 degrees. We're in the single digits, ladies and gentlemen, with a negative 11 wind chill. And it's got a west-northwest wind, 20 miles an hour. And let's see if the 3 days change at all. Still a low of -3 tonight, high of 13 tomorrow with a low of 2. So it's still going to be cold, and it's going to snow, and it's going to be cold, and it's just going to be awful.
And cold.
Yes, I don't know if you said, but I think it might be a little chilly. It might be cold. Des Moines schools are already closed, and that's kind of a ripple effect across the state. There's several schools. We'll see if the universities do it.
Baby. Here we go.
That's a rare event.
I know, but hey, it's a blizzard. So anyway, let's keep things moving here. There's a plan from, I believe, the DNC, and the RNC is supposedly working in conjunction with the DNC, which is kind of scary, to keep Iowa caucuses the first caucus or primary in the country. I almost said the world. The plan would make it so that Iowa, New Hampshire, and there's another state,
South Carolina and Nevada,
could all be after February 2nd, and then everyone else have to be after March 2nd.
Yeah. And in exchange for being after us, they get more delegates.
I'm not sure I like that. What do you guys think?
I actually have no problem with it because I'll tell you right now, you have a lot more influence if you're the first one.
I agree with Alex.
But even how big is the delegate cut, though?
The delegate, I'd see. They haven't said yet. They haven't fully decided. The Republicans are still working on it.
Why are we being punished? I think Iowa's being punished in this because everyone wants to jump us.
It's a bribe. It's not us being punished. It's them being rewarded. I know that, but see, like, compare it. Okay, we'll compare because the media coverage that we get and the time we get with the candidates, I think that it's necessary that this actually takes place in a low population state where it's and Iowa's a flip-flop state. It goes both ways. So you've got a lot of you've got a lot of people in there that are moderate-minded, and they actually go and they listen. People like Barack Obama and Mike Huckabee,
your favorite,
and those type of individuals have a chance here because we'll actually go and we'll sit and we'll listen to them. And it's not like people compare us like, oh, it's a bunch of farmers, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you know how smart you have to be a farmer, first of all, because you have to do a business and all this stuff. And there's a political elite that goes to this. Not every Iowan goes. The people who go take it really seriously. Mm-hmm. So I think having the power to be there and pick those guys outweighs the actual power later on.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
Well,
I just don't think we should be cut. But that's, I guess, having heard your argument, if that works out that way, I think that's good.
Compare it to wanting to be Limbaugh versus a congressman. You could be Rush Limbaugh and influence 20 million people and have more power in that influence than any single congressman who has actual legitimate power like these states would, and you can have far more influence because you can control more of those congressmen.
That's very, very solid. I've got nothing to add.
Me neither.
All right, well, I'm sorry for wiping you. Let's move on to our next
In
topic.
case you couldn't tell, Alex may or may not be a political science major.
Let's go to the Tea Parties. Would you like to describe this, or could I?
Go ahead.
Why, thank you. All right. Anyways, for our next topic, they're the Tea Parties, which you're all very familiar with. They've been deemed crazies.
They were started by Glenn Beck. We could
Yes.
keep that with. We should have done this right after the commercial.
Yeah, we should have. Anyway, yeah, we even mentioned Tea Party, but there are polls out right now that claim the Tea Party is more popular than the GOP. And for those who are really not politically sophisticated, the GOP is another euphemism for the Republican Party. And my first question for you guys is, why do you think the Tea Party is more popular than the GOP? Do you think that they're doing something? What are they missing that the GOP isn't getting?
The Tea Party is attracting all the super conservative people, and they're branching off from the GOP to go into the Tea Party, and that's how they're getting all their numbers. That's what I think.
Well, it's not so much the super conservative as it is that.
Define a super conservative.
I was just gonna get into that. I was gonna say,
excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
legitimately,
quit stepping on my toes.
I legitimately apologize.
Like, I guess that's not what I was gonna say, but it's the super conservatives and the libertarians. It's the super conservatives and libertarians and people that are very pro small government is their big sticking point. And I mean, is that what you would describe it as?
I would say that Tea Partiers are a smidge more on. They're the leftovers from the. See, that's really weird because I would say they're social fundamentalist conservatives, but there are libertarians in there. They're the people who are simply tired and just sick and tired of both parties. They're not getting what they want. The Republican Party is no longer small government. It is big government, but on social issues. Mm-hmm. So it's just, you could either have the government come into your life on healthcare, or you can have the government come into your bedroom and tell you who you can sleep with and when you can get married.
Yeah, I think that it's a lot of it is because most people that usually vote Republican are just so disenfranchised with the GOP that they don't even want to think about it anymore. So they're just going to say, you know what? We're going to make a party that is really for the people and by the people. I mean, because that's the reason they're doing well in all these numbers is because there really is no head to the party yet. I mean, it's literally just a group of people who, all think alike, and they have no one to, be upset with, I think, is part of it, honestly.
In fact, it's not even a party yet. The reason it's the Tea Party is because the organizations were the Tea Parties. It is not even an official formed party yet.
Right, and there's no, as far as anyone knows, there's no plan to do that, but
it's certainly edging that. It's certainly going that direction.
It's really weird for Politico to run a story like this because they're not, it was a hypothetical poll. It was like, what if the Tea Party became a political party? Who would you vote for? And I don't think the numbers were. Well, I can't find the numbers, but they were above the Republicans. So, but I think Ryan mentioned it that a part of the Tea Party would be Republican voters. So they're stealing Republican voters. But if we could go beyond just the Tea Party, I would just like to say that I think this could be the first chance for a real third party candidate to make some serious moves and maybe even win. There are so many people disenfranchised with. And just upset and just sick of both the Republicans and the Democrats that I really think a third-party member or someone like Ron Paul, who technically runs as a Republican but is a libertarian, I think they could make a real chance. This could be the best year they have to make a serious, honest run for the White House.
Those numbers were the non-formed Tea Party was at 23%, and the GOP was actually 5 points below them.
Surprising.
Yeah, it's a substantial lead. I don't know. See, I agree that a third-party candidate is certainly on the way. I don't know if it'll be 2012 simply because Barack Obama will be in 2012. And
unless his poll numbers are slipping still at that point, then...
Well, if Afghanistan, healthcare, and the economy do not work out, he's done. And you could really just narrow it. If the economy doesn't work out, he's done. Yeah. And if that's the case, then it's a crapshoot. And somebody's going to come out of there. And I think you could also have a third-party candidate end up being accepted